There it is.
And here we are.
There we are.
And we're back. We got 6 weeks to go until fights are back in action. It's been a few weeks removed since the last show, and we're back at Coops. We've got some matchups that have been made. You know what the main event and co-main event are leading up. We've got the lightweight and heavyweight championships on the line for Cage Titans 61. It's been a while since we've been here. It's been a while since I've been in front of a camera talking to y'all, but it's good to be back. So
cheers everybody at home. Shout out to Aaron Hughes, our first comment. Just so you know, we've been doing Table Titans. We look back. Was it 7 years now? 6 years now? And we've never taken time off. And this was kind of like the first time we took the whole summer off. As you know, if you haven't heard, I have a bunch of kids. So I was spending some time with the kids and I just kind of took the summer off. So, but we are back now and we are rip roaring ready to go. We're 6 weeks away from Cage Titans 61. We made some big announcements at the fight.
The poster's ready to drop as of now.
All right, cool. Let's just drop the poster then.
Drop the poster. I mean,
looking for the poster.
You're sitting there rolling through all the news and whatnot, but literally just saw this get finished up a minute ago.
Dr. Summeroff. What's up, Rob Pico? Rob Pico, I saw your text. Rob Pico's up to 29 front row tickets for Cage Titans 61. Insane. That guy brings a party. So here you go. Without further ado, I'm going to let me see if I can get this going the right way. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to pull. You can check a face out. But so fun facts about these fights that we kind of are touching base on. Obviously, the Joe Giannetti and Michael Dufort fight was made before we walked into Cage Titans 60. So we knew Dufort has obviously, bringing a guy in from Canada, flew him in, got him there to announce that fight. So we had that fight made. We knew we were looking at a Ross Hilton title fight. We actually made the fight that night. And it was like we knew Roz was going on with Maddie Levine, and we were actually just going to talk about him just defending his title on this card. And we were scrambling, and I'm going back and forth with Marsh. Now, Marsh called him out. So what I want to bring to people's attention, Marsh, if you saw in the poster, Marsh Hilton, this is a rematch. Hilton came up short against Joshua Marsh in their first for the time they met in a different promotion. And when Marsh, you remember him, he fought Brendan Battles. Bloody battle with Battles. He came up short against Battles, but he has a win over Hilton. It's a fun little Robin game we're playing here. Obviously, Ross Hilton picked up the victory against Battles for the title, our inaugural title. And once that happened, Marsh was like, hey, man, if I could ever get back up to Massachusetts to get a fight, I want to come back up and take on Ross. And Ross said he welcomes that rematch, and he wanted that one back. So
nobody's clamoring and chomping at the bit to fight Ross Hilton right now. The newly crowned Cage Titans champ, staple and a pinnacle of New England heavyweights, has been for a long time, and now he's got the gold strap. He is the king of New England, winning the Cage Titans heavyweight championship, and he wants to avenge an early loss in his career against Joshua Marsh, who was clamoring, chomping at the bit, like you
2, 1, 2. How's this? A little better, guys? So I clicked a button. I was trying to get the echo out. And I think how's that, guys? Good?
We better?
Yes.
All right.
Cool. Because we don't have any guests today, usually I have to shut off the sound on the TV so it doesn't echo. So I shut the echo off, and obviously I switched the settings. So my bad. Hopefully we're good now. But anyways, what we were saying is that, I wasn't saying that Marsh was clamoring like foul play when that stoppage happened in the battles. But, they thought it was,
It was a little early.
and they thought that would be another fight that they would hope to get back to. But now this path kind of just presented itself. And, we have a built-in storyline. Hilton was handed a loss by Marsh in a different promotion. And now he's the title holder. And Marsh is like, I beat him once. I think I can beat him again. He had a great time when he was up at Cage Titans. He's wanted to get back. And Hilton was like, I want to erase that loss off my record. So, like I said, what got us on this is we made that fight. So Matty Levine was scheduled to interview Ross, I think at like fight 11. And the whole night I'm checking my messages and we're going back and forth if we're going to be able to kind of make it happen. And at the very last minute, like 2 fights before we were about to go on, it was like, I got the message back, we're green, let's go ahead, announce the opponent. So there you go.
Yeah, and what an announcement it was. Ras Hilton just adamant that nobody that gets that belt until he says so. And he mentioned the name Joshua Marsh, and that was the newsbreaker to me. And it was like, I knew that Joshua Marsh had to win over Ras Hilton, so it made sense right then and there that he wants to avenge a loss that he had earlier in his career and skyrocketed right to the co-main event status and one of 2 titles that we have on the professional side on the line here. And we talked about Dufort and Giannetti and the announcement that was made there.
Throw that up there
Michael
again.
Dufort throwing the Habs jersey on, rustling the feathers of all the Bruins fans in the building. Yeah, I know, yourself included, myself as well. I'm a fair weather fan.
Go that way a little bit.
Yeah.
So then we can have the poster. There we go.
I'm a fair
we
weather
got the poster in between us.
No doubt, but just going ahead and making himself a little heel right out the gate did Michael Dufort, and he's looking forward to that second trip here where he gets to throw on the fisticuffs and throw down for the lightweight strap against Joe Giannetti, who is streamlining himself into the top of the contender heap around here with the win streak he's got going, and the more defenses he racks up at his lightweight and welterweight belts, the easier his case will be to get the call to the
Rob Pico saying, fuck
next
that
level.
guy.
But
listen, I got to tell you, you look at Dufort, and when I talked to him when he was flying in, hey, listen, he's like, I got something for you. And this was not, I'll admit, sometimes with our marketing team, we'll kind of manufacture a story here or there. Sorry, we're pulling the curtain back a little bit. But, we'll kind of plant some stuff to kind of make it happen, to kind of, pump the hype. This was all him. 100% all him. He came in, he was like, I got something, don't worry. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, if you want to bring a Canadian flag or something, he's like, I got it covered. And he didn't tell us. We weren't in on the joke. Like, he didn't tip me off. All he asked is, hey, do you got a guy, like, do you mind if I bring my camera guy, my buddy? I'm like, yeah, of course. He's got free tickets too. Let's get him in there. And then next thing you know, he opens up he comes in. He's dressed better than anybody in the entire place. 3-piece suit and everything. And then next thing you know, he's in the cage. He pulls out the brown paper bag, pulls out the Habs jersey. Oh. Now, my first love, I've been playing hockey since I was 3-4 years old. I mean, I got to say, it definitely was a moment. It was very cool. And then Skeletor, he played it off. He's just like, whatever, man. Skeletor was just pissed because he knew Jaylen Brown was there, so he wore his skeleton Celtics jersey. He has a Skeletor Bruins jersey. It would have made it cool. Might have been cool if
there's going to be a press conference.
We'll have a press conference. We'll bust that out.
We'll make that work when that happens. When they cross paths again, we'll get the Bruins Skeletor army.
I got to give
Dufort's
Canadian army. Yeah, I got to give
the red wave from the north.
So Pico just catching up. If I break 30 tickets, he's going to put himself in charge of group sales. 30 front row tickets, insane. And his comment right here is so true. And you sat towards his side of the cage. Imagine the words coming out of the mouths of these 30 guys screaming.
I can only imagine.
That's what he is. It's gonna be crazy.
Rob Pico on Fight Night Peak when the fists are flowing, the beers are throwing, and
it's gonna be something else.
It's something.
Also, shout out to Christian Acavaria. He'll be making his return for this card. Lamont Payne, what's up? I'm still looking for anybody 185, the big boys. You want to throw down, man?
Lamont Payne come back.
Let's get Lamont Payne back in there.
One of the crazier Muay Thai fights we had when he fought Colin Robinson for the strap.
So tonight's show was just kind of getting back in the seats and getting back into the groove of things. Starting next week, we will be back with guests. I know Rasquash wants to come on. We'll get Marsh. I'm sure we'll get Dufort and Giannetti, and we got a bunch of other fights that we'll be talking about throughout the. And this is a shout out to anybody who's out there. If you do want to call in, it's super simple. We send you a link. You open up your camera phone, and you're right here with us. We'll put you up on the screen. It's super simple.
Or roll through Quincy.
Yeah, or roll through Quincy. We're here in Quincy in the basement of Coops in our little studio we built. Shout out to Big Mikey Da Silva, who helped put all this together with us. The fans want another fight, so we
got a few fights that I think they deserve to hear about. There's a couple on here that are already circled for potential fight of the nights, and maybe we'll hold off on these pro fights.
You want to leave a pro fight off?
Let's leave
What's
the
up,
pro
Julian?
fights off.
All right, there was one fight. There was one fight that we teased today.
There are two fights that I think that we should absolutely announce right now.
How do we not want to announce all of them?
Because
if we go back,
we got 6 weeks. We got save a couple.
We got to spread the love a little bit.
I think they know.
I'll let you announce one. Go ahead. Give them one.
They know the meat and potatoes. Well, there's one that I've got that I'm super, super, super excited for.
Then give them that one.
And then there's two that I'm really super. There's so many. All these fights I'm excited for.
Just give him one.
All right.
Give him one, and then I'll give him one based off what you gave him.
Two undefeated scrappers.
Okay.
Taking each other on. There's a couple of fights like that. Oh my God, I can't. There's two fights like that with two undefeated amateur scrappers that throwing down.
Fine, give them both. If you want to give them both.
Oh man. All right, I'll give this one.
Because all right. Here we go.
Is it still going?
Yeah, it's still going.
It's still going. They can hear us.
They can hear us. We were just messing with you guys. They just have my ugly mug right now.
That's so funny.
I'm gonna pull back to the other camera.
We blue balled him on the fights. The laptop died. I'm just about to announce it.
Oh, here we go.
And they're all still here with the blue ball.
So, as you know, we took this
total accident, but it couldn't have worked better. Kind of like my parents say about me.
Wow, that's rough. That's rough, baby.
Hey.
Oh, man. So, all right, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Look at everybody.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, that was fun.
That did work out.
So
it couldn't have worked better. That was so funny.
Pretty fun. So my phone was dead. Just to give you a little info. So I took the laptop charger out of the laptop to charge my phone.
So then the laptop dies, and then his phone starts going. Everybody's messaging him. What the hell happened?
I wish we could say that we purposely did that, but again, we haven't been in the studio for 2 months, so we're still kind of we're still snoozing. I had to find a new couple chords because I'm missing charges, all kinds of stuff. But anyways, Andy was building the excitement for the fight that he's thrilled to talk about.
I got 4 fights that I'm really thrilled.
Andy, I'm going to plug everything in so we don't lose you guys again. So go ahead, Andy.
All right, this one. All right, so this fight that's going to be, I think this one's headlining amateur card as of right now, to be determined. But someone that has been looking for a fight for ages since his debut. Jaden Curley out of BTT Taunton, 1-0, monstrous debut. Taking on Timmy Mayday Melvin out of Broadway, BJJ, 2-0, 2 finishes. This is going to be fireworks and could be setting up a potential title shot for the winner, whoever it may be, and whether that's Brody McDougal taking another amateur fight, going up pro, or if Ozzie Martin goes in and gets a second shot at the strap versus the winner of this fight. Who knows what's going to happen, but that's the fight. Jaden Curley.
So we did tip it off a little bit today. We did post a highlight of Mayday Melvin, and Jaden Curley actually went in the comments and was kind of like Payday versus Mayday. Then they had a little pun off in the comments. But yeah, so they kind of hinted it at it themselves. But Mayday Melvin taking on Jaden Curley.
Well, these
are fights that are like, both guys are super tough to match. Like Jaden was scheduled against a couple guys last show and they all fell through after his debut performance. He's been super hard to match. And as for Melvin, he has a lot of other stuff going on outside of fighting. So, he bursts on the scenes, get 2 big wins, and then he has these big layoffs. But go back and watch a Mayday Melvin fight if you haven't seen one. And because he hasn't fought in a couple months, 6 months or so. Was he back in January? Or was he on the March?
Oh, I don't remember. It's all blending in together to me at this point.
But it's going to be an insane fight. These guys are, this is definitely one that you're going to circle. I do have this kind of slotted to be the last amateur fight of the undercard. So give him another one. I'm going to try to get my camera working better.
We're going to stick with the Broadway guys for now. Ash Rao, also undefeated. 1-0-1. Went the distance with the lightweight champ, but he's jumping down 2 weight classes. Staying at his new weight class at 135 pounds, and he's going to be taking on Brandon Demore at a Regiment Training Center. Kid I've been training with since he was a wee lad. I remember him at the Rivera Athletic Center days. This is a banger of a fight and a half. I'm excited to see both of them make their Cage Titans return. Ashwath Rao has been slated to fight, I want to say 3 or 4 more times than he's actually fought, with different opponents falling out, but he's looking to keep the activity up. When Broadway Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sends fighters in, they send the whole squad in. So Ash Rao versus Brandon Demora, who's been putting in the work down in Fall River at Regiment Training Center. You saw them make splashes last show with Carter Whitty getting the win in kickboxing, and Aaron Hughes with another big-time first-round guillotine finish. They got just slews of killers down there. Jorgen De Castro, Mitch Raposo. So he's been putting the work in down there, and excited to see him back at Cage Titans. So this is going to be an electrifying bantamweight matchup. It's going to be a fun fight between 2 very skilled fighters, and I think it's going to be a bit of a clash of styles as well. So
we do need some Team Dexters.
Fireworks.
We do need some Team Dexters. So let's see what else we got. Drew, just give him the 2 other amateur fights. You might as well at this point. We did cut off mid on these guys, so let's give it to him. Give it to him.
So another couple of undefeated amateurs. We saw this man make his debut last show. Travis Sweep Soulard out of Triforce, jumping right back into the thick of things, and he's taking on the undefeated Danny Jefferson out of Broadway Jiu-Jitsu. Somebody's has got to go. 2 guys that have showcased their skills in long tried, tested fights. I mean, Travis Soulard, I think he finished in the 2nd round, if I'm not mistaken, or was it the 1st round? I don't even remember.
He choked out Kevin Gonzalez.
Gonzalez,
the 1-0 guy out of UFC.
But an impressive debut. Really looked fluid in there. Was able to demonstrate he could take a shot and keep his composure. Showed some good speed and excellent grappling skills. And Danny Jefferson has been ruthless on the mats as well in his fights. So we could see a real grappling masterclass when these 2 meet in there at 145 pounds. And another fight that I'm extremely excited about, and another one you should all circle for our potential fight of the night. Xavier Cardona and Phil Lucino are going to be scrapping at 145 pounds. And that, need I say more? Need I say more? Bambino versus X. That's all you need to know. Those two guys have been in nothing but explosive moment after explosive moment in that cage. I want to say it's been about a year since Xavier's fought, but he's always, no matter how long he goes in between fights, he comes out and he brings it. No matter what.
His amateur title fight against
Shane Doherty.
Shane Doherty.
Yeah, like nobody really. He was the old dog in that fight where he kind of.
Remember, he showed up to the press conference.
Showed up wearing his
work
boots
off the he's a landscaper. He just shows off
right in the middle of his work day. And Shane Doherty went in there undefeated, utmost confidence, and it was as crazy of a fight as you can get in a 1 minute span.
Yeah,
where they just threw down in a phone booth until they closed the distance, and Xavier Cardona just wouldn't say die and had to go unconscious to that guillotine that Shane put him in. And
that was a crazy fight.
Fight with Mike Antidormi, another dog
Another
fight where
undefeated
he just not
kid. He
saying,
just came up and
just
took.
wouldn't say die. He's been in dogfight after dogfight. Fought for the title, and Bambino Lucino looking to make that climb up for a title shot to get a win over a former title challenger would definitely propel him up the ranks at 145 pounds. You know, we've seen him take his ups and downs in war after war that he's been through. Only been fighting he's coming into like his second year fighting. I remember he made his debut against Danny Jefferson, actually, who we just mentioned, 2 years ago on the November card. So 2 years of fighting, he's had his ups and downs, and he's trying to keep the momentum going and find his stride and continue the winning ways that he's been on.
Since JoJo's on there, just in case he did not get a chance to check out the poster if he's coming on late. There you go, JoJo, the JoJo poster. Let me see, I'll remove this. With no way that we had to flip to a laptop cam.
Yeah. It doesn't make us look less ugly.
Yeah, we need our whole studio.
Yeah. Not that those help much either.
Not that those help. I definitely gained the 40 pounds.
You set up each of us with a close-up, and it's like, oh, why?
But either way, so there you have it. So Andy gave you some. So I would rattle off. We have so many more fights that we got to match up. You know, I'll just kind of give you guys some quick teasers.
I've seen some names that you have yet to officially match up yet, but...
So we have a bunch of names that, like this week's, we're 6 weeks out. So just so those guys, like Christian who's on there, and some of the other guys, you know, we're 6 weeks out. So I start usually getting names 7, 8 weeks out. By week 6, I have pretty much every name that I got. So now, this week, in the next few days, I'm going to start making the rest of the amateur cards. I do have 2 more pros that I'm finalizing matchups. Miguel Savesin, as Rob Pico has tipped off, will be going pro on this card. So I'm just final. Shout out to Too Cold Montreal James. He won his boxing match this weekend.
Oh shit!
Plus he won big win over Marty Davis his last cage times. Looking forward to getting him back again soon. But yeah, so right now I have pretty much every amateur name has been submitted. So now is really when I do the grunt work where it's like, okay, who would be the best matchup, and then start offering those matches up. You know, the amateur fights that we kind of already announced were ones that were just kind of like shoe-in matchups that I was like, all right, this is easy. You know, these ones make sense. Now it's kind of like, you know, you got a bunch of guys 0-0, 1-0, 0-1. It's like, all right, let's see how. So that's the juggling game. I'll play this week.
When you ask the code,
yeah, North Shore Muay Thai will be represented. They haven't fought for a while in the MMA cage. They're coming to us. Triforce will be well represented. Then what else do I got? Obviously, Sid Yatong. G&G out in Western Mass. So there's a whole bunch of guys.
KJSA coming up.
KJSA coming back up. As for pros, Big Hassan Graham, we've already tipped off. He's making his return to Cage Titans as a professional now. We have Sam Watford, big off a huge win for his last fight. He's coming back. The other 170 guys that I got coming back. Ooh, that's another good one. All right, I'll give you a quick tip. Long-time Cage Titans fighter. I'm talking 2012, 2013, 14, 15. Bobby Flynn from Pro Elite. He's trained out with Scotty Ream. Bobby Flynn watched our last card, and he was blowing me up. And this past week, we finally secured a fight for him. And Bobby, that phone's dead. That's not going to work. Andy, you look it up when the last time.
Bobby Flynn?
Let's see when he fought last. He was a former Cage Titans amateur champion. Let's see. Bobby Flynn MMA. Where are you? Bobby Flynn. Here we go. Bobby Flynn made his amateur debut in 2008. Then 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, he beat Peter Barrett via 22-second armbar at Cage Titans 7 to win the Cage Titans lightweight amateur title before going on pro. He went on to go pro, Cage Titans 8, 11, 14, 16, 20, 25. Fought a bunch for us at Cage Titans before he called it somewhat of a career in 2016, but I think seeing some of these old names come up, and I think seeing some of like the 50-year-old pro debut last time kind of gave him a little kick in the ass. And he wants to, I'm not saying he's going to fight forever, but he wants to dust it off. And he's still fairly young. I think he's only his 30s. So, he's making his return. So it should be a fun one. Yeah.
I like it. Some OGs coming back, and we know who he's fighting.
Yeah, I know who he's fighting.
I know who he's fighting too. So, you sent me the card, but are we going to tell them?
We'll hold that till next week.
All right. It's a fun matchup.
Yeah, Ronnie Doherty. May I ask if Cage Titans ever on betting platforms we see UFC venues on? BetMGM does carry the last two Cage Titans show, but here's what's happening is that the first show we were on, they had so much action, they were not prepared to handle all the action that was coming on the local scene. So it was up for like maybe a window of like an hour or two before they pulled back. Last show, they kind of experienced something very similar where they just got heavy betting right out the gate when it went on, and then they shut the books down. So we've been talking to them about trying to keep it up longer, what to expect. What you got to remember is local MMA betting is fairly new. So it's new for these guys, and they're kind of working out the kinks. They're used to going like UFC, high level, college football and professional sports. The local scene is very different because you see probably a lot of money coming in on the hometown guys, and they're just really trying to work through the kinks of how it's going. So BetMGM has been a supporter of us the last two events. I do know that they plan on coming back this one, and it's kind of like that needle in the haystack. It'll be up for like 2 hours. You can get your bets in, and then hopefully you get in there. Catching up before we go. Let me see who else. Any comments? My man, Hassan Graham. Damn, what I miss. Been too long. Listen, the party is fighting on Game Bred Bare Knuckle MMA in September. Good luck to him. Hopefully we'll get him back again soon. We were always in talk with the party, and he always has a home.
Good fights to be made.
Good fights to be made there. What else? We need to see Skeletor, Army, and the party people. Yeah, that would be fun. More party people. What else we got? Well, I got 29, so go. I got 29 people coming, so need a GoFundMe for the beer tab. Rob Pico and his boys throw down big time. Ronnie, no problem. We always take questions from guys. Anybody has questions, we try to catch up. Much to Andy's chagrin, he's always like, dude, leave the comments alone. But I always like getting in there and talk.
Well, it's been a while, so you're hitting through all of them.
I'm hitting them all today. But yeah, we kind of going to hope to keep it to a half an hour at 32 minutes. We have more stuff to go over, but today's show was just kind of getting back in the saddle.
Let's not be real. Even if we
UFC Boston this weekend.
Even if we didn't have shit to go over, we could still just go on for just hours. It's just nonstop, no matter what. Just you and I.
Yeah, Aaron Hughes can't wait to drink and yell loud and talk shit.
Oh yeah, Aaron Hughes going to be hanging back and just chilling this time out.
Yeah.
Watching the fights instead of going in. Enjoy, man. Enjoy. You've been putting the work in. So
Let me just catch up real quick. Dude, that crash was funny. People all messaging me.
Yeah.
Audio. I got one. Here's a good question. I wanted to get to it. The UFC Boston's this weekend. Anybody have any plans? What do you think of the fight card? Aljo and Big Sugar Show.
Yeah, I think it's a fun fight card. And then Zhang Weili defending her belt as well. Yeah, it's anytime the UFC comes to town, it's a big deal. First time in the state. Just hope our ever so wonderful commissioners keep the inhalers at bay this time around. And
I will say, no inhaler game.
There's a hate, love, hate. You know who you are when it comes to the commission, but I know you're all watching it. But behave yourselves, do good.
They already have somebody replacing Cody Garbrandt. I see Justin Simmons. Actually, a fun thing that I kind of learned is that usually when the public hears about it, they've already known about it at the commission for a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that. I've had the feeling before, but I learned that now with UFC Boston coming to town. I will tell you this, Andy, the commission. We've kind of worked through things. We've had a great relationship.
I wonder if they can learn what a legal elbow is.
Well, we'll talk about that another time. But I will tell you this, very high on my radar was bringing to the commission's attention how poorly we kind of handled the last time the UFC was here in 2019 and trying to make sure that we aren't repeating those mistakes. We do have all new board members, a whole new commission. That has kind of been an issue of us in the past, is that we get new commission members every 2-3 years and they don't really know what they're doing, so you're trying to catch them up to speed, and then you get a big show like the UFC and we kind of falter. I will tell you, if you've seen them at the local shows, you've seen them, afterwards, and they're very approachable, these new people, and of working close with them, and they're trying to learn, and they're really open-minded, and they're not afraid sometimes to admit when they don't know things. So there's been some things that we've been able to bounce off each other leading up to this UFC Boston card, and I think we, and I say we because our athletic commission is us, because we are part of this sport here in Massachusetts. We hold it down. I think we're gonna have a good showing at UFC Boston. And I think the UFC is very happy from everything I'm hearing, and we're gonna have a great show, and it's gonna be a good card. And if you're there, hit me up. I'm pretty sure I'll be there. So hit me up. We were talking about it earlier.
I won't. I'm broke.
Yeah. So probably be there and hit us up. And what do you think? Who do you think, Aljo or it's kind of hard for me. I'd like to see Sugar, but it's gonna be. I don't know if it's a coin flip.
I got a coin flip. I think I got Aljo defending though.
I think it's hard to the take down the wrestling. He's fought strike.
I got Aljo defending.
I agree. And Don Shainis said, "What about a headbutt?" Did Shainis headbutt somebody in his fight?
It looked like he postured up and then went down to tuck his head into Robert Lustig's chest to throw more ground and pound. And when he did that, it definitely looked like his forehead hit Lustig right in the chin. Definitely didn't look great, but I know Don and his reaction after the action was stopped was completely unintentional. So I don't think it was like a dirty move whatsoever. It was just he postured up pretty hard and threw some ground and pound, and then went to close the distance real quick and accidentally threw a headbutt. But yeah,
there you go. He said it was his bad.
Yeah. I mean, I caught it on the replay and was like, and then saw different angles and was like, that doesn't look great. But I don't think he meant to headbutt anybody by any means.
Yeah. Hassan Graham, the big man's back. Let's go. And what do we got? Joey Collarin. That'll be a crazy card. I think Aljo takes him down and gets back control quick and hopes to check it. Yeah, man, that's a good. Yeah, it's just hard.
I'm pulling for
Aljo is such a great grappler. The interesting thing is if he wins, or he said this is his last fight at 35 either way. But yeah, it's gonna be a good card. Yeah, man. So there you have it. I mean, Cage Titans 60 was in the books. We really didn't talk too much about it. Great card though. A lot of big moments. The Aussie fight. And Brody definitely stole the show.
Yeah, that was top tier amateur war for the belt right there. I got emotional. That was a fun one,
crazy.
man. That was a fun one.
The return of Shameless Nation, the return of Jay Perrin, great fights. Great to see. Again, it's like I always say, it's bittersweet when we have guys kind of graduate on the UFC, then they come back to us. But it is always nice to
Yeah,
meet
he
those
got
guys.
a big pop and back to his hometown, and had a good outing as well. Robert Lustig with his Cage Titans debut, going in there and dropping Shaynes in the second round and putting on the performance he did, really showcased and made a name for himself there, training up at Nostos. We were looking forward to him coming back.
Yeah.
And Shaynes getting the win, looked good in his return. Fought a tough, crafty veteran, and Robert Lustig, who is way more dangerous and credible of a fighter than his record might look if you just see it on paper. And he showed it in that performance as well.
Yeah.
Sam Watford stealing the show against
Sam
Pat
Watford,
Casey. That
big-
was a crazy
big asset.
performance.
Montreal James coming in.
That was another one right there where it was just he took a beating for the first part of the fight and then found a window of opportunity, capitalized on it, and brought a win home down to Houston, St. Louis area. That was too cold of a performance, if I don't say so myself. That was a really
wish I
great
had,
debut.
I was going to say shout out to, I think it's Nye. He is part of the 42nd Parallel crew. I can't reach it. Let me see if I can. But he designed the last. This is the first time that we've ever had a can designed by somebody not me, and he designed the 42nd last time. He took the theme of our poster and kind of rolled with it. But the first time somebody besides myself has designed a Cage Titans can, so shout out to him and the 42nd Parallel crew. As you can see, we always love to get to all the comments. Andrew Valdina doing commentary again. We got to touch base with Andrew Valdina. We were actually talking about it earlier. What we're going to do for a booth. I mean, I heard that Kin and Andrew and yourself, great. We had the Cupcakes Corner. We had live stats on screen last fight. We had live betting odds up on the screen last time.
Everybody's been doing such a great job in there. I've been I think I've been in pretty much every single show since I've started, minus a couple. And
have you ever missed a show?
Yeah, I've missed.
The one you fought on?
One I fought on, and there's been a couple that Justin Simmons goes in, and he does a great job with the play-by-play when he fills in. But the rotation of guys that we have between Kin Moy, Jay Perrin, Richie always, and OG in there, Johnny Cupcakes, who's done it a bunch of times, Pat Gilbride, Connor Matthews, and Andrew Valdina throwing his name in the hat.
Valdina throwing the fire symbol up.
Yep. He did a tremendous job. Hillary Rose did great her last time out as well. So yeah, it's something that we usually converse around this time out is who we're looking to get in the booth, and
we'll see, man.
You're kind of liking the repeat of me, Kin and.
I thought Kin and Valdina. I thought that was a great way, especially if Valdina's not fighting this card, which he's not. Sorry to bust everybody's bubble. If you were wondering for that announcement, but
Jay
I think
Perrin
he's
ain't fighting either. So
I like keeping guys that are part of the Cage Titans circuit kind of occupied and busy within Cage Titans. So if it's it would make sense they maybe a Valdina or a Perrin or somebody who's not fighting on this card just to keep their name and keep going with it. So we'll see. And Kin Moy, my partner on TikTok Tuesdays. He's always well-spoken and does a lot of good things.
But anybody that has been involved in it over the years is
Lally was another favorite of yours.
Lally is great.
Cupcakes Corner. I like Cupcakes. So Cupcakes was always our commentator. Now he's kind of moved into
the Dean Thomas
Thomas role. Oh, speaking of Dean Thomas, Dana White looking for a fighter.
Connor Matthews.
Got released last night. I think it was yesterday.
Yep.
And that was pretty cool. Big Mikey DeSilva rocking his Cage Titans jersey.
Completely whiffing on the punch.
But hey, big love. And we saw Joe Giannetti in there punching the machine too for a little back of his head action. But some good fights. You saw Yuri, the polar bear, Russian polar bear. He's going to be on the contender, actually the same contender card as Connor Matthews. So,
I like it.
Congrats to both those guys. I've actually got to grapple with Yuri. Super fun time, super polite, super nice kid. So I wish him all the best. And then obviously Connor's been with us for a long time.
Yeah.
And, we all know he's a great kid.
Yeah, we were here watching at Coops last time. He was on the Contender Series, so he's getting another shot up there.
It's funny, and this is something that I definitely knew about, and I've said to fighters before, they were literally talking about how Connor Matthews is 30 years old, and they were almost didn't want to give him a shot because he was too old. So
yeah, they say that, and then you see like some 34-year-old.
They got a 35-year-old on there, but last week on the Contender Series.
Yeah, so anytime that they do say that, it's a crock of shit.
But it is. I
get it. They're looking for a certain demographic of people.
We're not going half an hour.
How many people hit their stride at 32, 33, and how many times do you think that they've seen that happen? And they know it, so they're not excluding somebody from being 30.
I'm 42. Does anybody hit their stride in 42?
I'll keep drinking like Monster like that.
Oh, man. Shout out to Bill Jones, man. Cage Titans won back in the day. 30. I remember Bill Jones. I actually was talking about you when we were talking about the UFC coming to town. We were talking about hand wrapping and all that stuff. And I actually brought you up. I was like, yeah, some guys wrap their own hands. And they're like, nah. And I'm like, yeah, Bill Jones. I'll never forget the days walking in the back, him wrapping his own hands. Ross Hilton, 35. We were talking about Ross's age earlier today. I think Ross, though, heavyweights kind of come into their prime a little. I mean, look at Glover Teixeira just won the title at 42 last year.
I think heavyweights, for sure, they have a little bit of an older shelf life, if you will. It takes them a little longer.
Actually, since Ross is on, in case he wasn't on earlier, let's throw him up there, the official poster, so we can kind of check that out. Boom. All right, cool. Well, we went 45 minutes.
I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with 45 minutes.
Split the difference.
We released some fights. Give them the rundown on the fights you released one more time.
What the fuck?
Brandon Namora,
Ashworth Rao. And then you got
Jaden Curley
versus Timmy Melvin. And then we've got Phil Bambino Lucino versus Xavier Cardona. Danny Jefferson is taking on Travis Villard. Yep. So those are the amateur fights that we ran down tonight. We've got more matchups to be made. You're going to be tuning in with us for the next 4 weeks leading up until 5 weeks leading into fight week.
We're back.
That's it. There's no more.
Try to get maybe 2 to 4 opponents on every week. Our fighters on every week.
We're going back with the guests?
Yeah, we get some fighters to call in, because we love hearing from you guys. So reach out to Andy or myself and just let us know if you want to get on, or one of us will reach out to you, because I know some of you guys get a little scared and you don't like to hit us up. So we'll hit you up and we'll try to bring you on. Ross already talked to me today, and he wanted to get on the show. So we might as well have Ross on next week. So Ross, there you have it. I told you me and Andy would be meeting up. So there you go. Next week, our first guest will be Ross Hilton, and maybe we can get Josh Marsh on.
I dig it.
So here we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much as always. This Saturday night, UFC Boston. Hope to see some guys there. And if not, tune in next Monday. On the other side of it, TikTok Tuesday tomorrow. Me and Ken Moy at noon. Always fun. We talk about crazy shit. It's me like me and Andy, but it's me and Ken, and we just ramble on about who knows what. We never have an agenda. Sometimes we take fan questions and just like riff off of that. And he's very well spoken, so it's just like it's cool. What else do we got this week? I don't think anything else. So there you have it.
So we're back. Good to see y'all. Thanks for listening to us ramble for as long as we have. And
we'll send you out with the poster and that great video. Shout out to Nick and the team.
Thank you as always. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. And there you go. One more time. And Andy's got to take a leak, so